everyone, and today we'll be taking a look at this Terra Battat Tyrannosaurus Rex figure I just got. Okay, so first of all, I was considering about this Terra Battat figure or PNSO Polyallosaurus, but then I thought to myself, if I were own a PNSO figure, it gotta be way too stand out from all my dinosaurs collection. And I'm not that big fan of the modern high detail accurate dinosaur figure that much. And Turbo Battat is my dream company that I would love to own one of their figures for so long. So that's why I pick up this one. So Battat is basically the company which make toys and figures for kids including animals and also dinosaurs in order to spark kids' curiosity and interest in nature and history. They made a toy line of dinosaurs figure for a museum of science in Boston in 1994, and all those figures are ahead of their time, comparing to the figure that came out the same years. Thanks for the sculpture of all of them, Daniel Russo. He's one of the paleontologists that work on this kind of stuff, like magazine cover and museum statue, and also dinosaurs figure. 'Cause, why not? Then the line just got shut down, and some of them got redo into the new model and sell in the new name go by Terra, which is why they call Terra by Battat right here. But before they can get to redo all the rest of the figures in the line, Mr. Dan Lorso just passed away, so they didn't continue the process, and all the rest of the original figure that they didn't get to repaint it yet just got abandoned there forever. But you can still find the rest of the figure in the second-hand eBay toy store. So if you guys think it's enough talking around here, so we're just gonna start taking a look around at the box first. So the box got a little damage at the edge right here, but it will not bother me from doing this video, so I'm not gonna mind about that. And we got here the display of the T-Rex itself at the box. I think it's kind of clever packaging, by the way. And then we have the back right here. Whoa, that's a fact right there. Alright, let's see. Tyrannosaurus Rex is probably the most recognizable dinosaur around. More than 50 specimens have been identified. Yeah. It's been a lot identified, like, we already know these creatures enough. I think we all know about that. And then we have here the Terra Battat logo and their contact channels. At least it's safe to say that the packaging was just amazing. So, to waste no more time, let's get this big guy out of the box. Yep, that's much better. Whoa, I don't even know where to start. But overall, it's all the details of the wrinkles in the paint job just looks amazing to me. And at the other side, it just looks like the exact same thing, like what real animals did. Like the pattern just looks so real, and its color scheme is just perfect. It's not too bright like the original one in Boston Museum. It suits well with a large animal like Tyrannosaurus Rex. So this shows how lots of improvement they have. But I didn't say that the old one was bad. It's still incredibly awesome for its time. So let's just go start off the head. But then we have a look at this head shape right here. I think they put a lot of effort of sculpting the head. The head shape is pretty accurate compared to the skull specimen they have. And there's some space for his palate right here in his mouth. And also his little detail, his tongue posture right here. And I think the nostril was really well sculpted, as it was a little detail that they could have ignored that, but they did not. Also, his teeth they got no sloppy paints in there, and also the inside of his mouth. Like, look at that. They did a really good paint job in that. And what makes this figure special is just right here, because unlike most of the dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus Rex can actually look at the front while most of the dinosaurs see on the side. It's that because T-Rex's eye sockets was designed to have a binocular vision, which means it can see what's exactly in front of its face. And this figure just nailed that. I mean, just look at this. Look at him. Right here. Yeah. He's looking right at you. And I really love this little detail of its dark red crest on the top of its eye, and also at its cheekbones a little bit. This make the figure itself a bit more colorful, but not too much, just like what large animals did. And it's a perfect choice of leaving its mouth open to let it show off those fearsome teeth. Speaking of teeth, what other prehistoric predators like Allosaur and Carcharodontosaurus had is a teeth with a knife-like blade teeth. I mean, to be short, it's a serrated teeth. Those sharp double-edged teeth were perfectly capable of cutting through flesh and causes a deep cut wound. But with T-Rex, it's built differences. Their teeth were thick and robustly built, and the sharpness at the end. They were most likely I don't know, imagine banana. 60 bananas that break through bones. And overall, the head of this figure was just beautiful, and I think it's like way too accurate for just a dinosaur toy for kids. And that's make me love this figure so much. And to waste no more time again, let's head to the next stop, the torso. Seems like to be nothing much to talk about, but it did have a lot. If you're here with me, you can see that this figure is well detailed, even the fact that this figure is really aged. The way they sculpt the detail on the body just make this figure never get old. If you look here, you can clearly see that there's one big missing detail underneath the body. In real life, T-Rex has something called gastralia. It's the part of the bone that helps it push the air out of its lung while breathing. And this figure has its own reason for missing that. Just a reminder that this was just a repainted of a figure that came out in the 90s, and by that time, still the most complete specimen of Tyrannosaurus Rex has shown on display in the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, Illinois. Scientists doesn't know where to put the piece of the bones on, because it's a floating bone and didn't seem to attach with any part of the bone in her skeleton, so they just ended up not placing it on. But until 2000, science has changed that, and that's why Dan LaRusso and Greg Wansell still done a pretty good job. And another great thing in this figure I can say is if there's any limbs moving somewhere differently, the skin sculpting will follow the movement of those limbs, like this leg as an example. If you look closely right here, you can clearly see that at the hip it got a little skin stretching right there. So a small detail of its ankle just look beautiful, and here we have this fantastic theropod feet. The way they sculpted just make this figure looks like the exact same thing, just like the way they meant it to be. But this side also got the skin and muscles folding right there. It's a pretty brilliant sculpting. It got a lot of wrinkles at the side of the body, just like I said before. It's good for a large animal sculpting, but I know the arm is kind of too big, but I don't have a problem with that. From the top view, you can see that the rib cage is really wide, just like the real thing. The big muscle of the leg right here just help this figure look not too shrink wrapped. And I really cannot move on from this beautiful theropod feet they gave him, because they got it all right. I like the idea of these small details of brown painting of this finger, both of his front legs and hind legs. Just add more color in this figure, but not too stand out from others on the body. And last but not least, we have a look at its tail. It's not bad at all, just like it's not too short and too long. And the tail is in the pose of pointing down the floor. I think they do this just to reduce the length of the figure, just for the packaging issues, and I understand that. If I could stretch the tail, I would do it, and it's gonna be as long as I thought. But I think I should try that later. The sculpting is pretty brilliant when, like, all the limbs is not too shrink wrapped like the most of the dinosaurs reconstruction for that time. Now let's see if this figure can do the stand or not. No, it cannot. The direction of its tail seems like to help this figure for a tripod pose, but not at all. Battat is probably not the best at making a standable figure, despite not being a perfect figure for a shelf display, but with how highly detailed and accuracy it was for its time, it's not a problem at all. This figure from Terra by Battat is sculpted in a scale of 1:40, and I would like to do some scaling with some of my dinosaurs figures I brought in this video. And the first thing I would like to scale with is this guy right here, Papodilophosaurus. I'm pretty sure mine is a knockoff because the paint job is like more sloppier than the exact Papo did. And the price is pretty low when I got this one when I don't know, like 12 or 11. I don't know, it's a pretty long time ago when I was a kid. And his mouth was never stopped from keep falling off, the fact that it was a knockoff one. But I don't know why in this video it had it closed tightly. I have no idea on this at all. But I think it's pretty cool when I, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, right here. It looks a bit too big comparing to the Terra by Battat Tyrannosaurus Rex right here. But it's still pretty cool when they're standing beside each other. And let's move on to the next one I would like to compare with the most. Is this one right here. The Century of the Dragon Triceratops, which basically the Safari LTD knockoff version. The reason is both of these dinosaurs live in the same time and same place, and it's gonna be really cool on display. And I can really hold his head with the Triceratops horn right here, and there we go. Even the Triceratops needs to be a bit bigger, but this is all I got, and this looks good enough to me. Because you know, like, Triceratops is much bigger than you thought, but still look absolutely amazing together. But what if we compare to something that way bigger? It's gotta be this one right here. A 2014 Atomic Roar Godzilla. Like, I had to hit this camera up a little bit because he's too big to fit in the whole screen. This one is still remains the biggest figure in my house. But take a look at the size of this Battat T-Rex. And you can see that it's reaching up with Godzilla's knees. This shows you that this is not a small figure at all. And lastly, this figure is pretty solid and much bigger than I thought. they still keep Dan and Greg's work to look like the exact same one in the Boston line. And also the coloring improvement, I really love the new coloring. If you're a fan of Battat and didn't have any single chance to own one of the figure in Boston Museum back in the 90s, this new line is your perfect choice. And a huge thanks for Terra by Battat of making this wonderful figure for me to obtain it without spending all my life saving. You can get this figure and more on Terra by Battat Facebook shop or their official website. Mine from an online store near my house. And the fact that this was just a repaint of an old model 30 years ago and still holds up to a modern day scientific accuracy just make these figures perfect for you. And I love these figures a lot. And that's it for today, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you do, please leave some likes and comments down below. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel just not to miss this type of content. I'll pretty sure I'll see you next time. And I'm also really excited for a new Jurassic World movie they're gonna film in my country, Thailand. And yeah, English is not my home language. And me and my brother can wait to see them because they're filmed at the nearest province at our location. Like we could have just walked there, but I'm just saying that. So have a nice day.